Don Mazzella here again for Small Business Digest. We have a really interesting guest, someone who I know can help all of us do our marketing better. Christina Ross, she's with Silver Frog Marketing, and we welcome her to the program. Good morning or good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you, Don. Thanks for having me. Yes. Where can I begin? Yes.
Well, I'll let you. First, we always ask our guests a little bit about themselves personally, then a little bit about your company, and finally a website.
Perfect. All right. So a little bit about myself. I've been in marketing for about 15 years now. I started in the franchise development industry and kind of worked more into really helping small businesses as I was watching businesses kind of make mistakes, and it all seemed to be around marketing. And from there, I kind of developed my own small company at the time, where I mainly just helped small businesses just getting started. And the way I would do that is by building them a website and kind of talking to them a little bit in terms of who is your audience? Who are you targeting? If you were your customer, who would you look for? How would you look for it? And tailoring Google ads and Facebook campaigns and little things like that at that time. So what happened from there is that I worked for larger and larger companies and learned a lot more in terms of marketing as a whole. So as a holistic way, by using content marketing, by using social media and emails, and how it all works together to really build a brand. And it really doesn't matter how big you are. You can be a one-person shop. As long as you have really good, it's really a marketing strategy with content marketing, emails and social. You can make yourself look like you've got a team of 10 and you can really just be, almost in your basement. So that's a little bit about how it kind of came along. At this point, Silver Frog Marketing, we've been established since 2015. We have an office in Joliet. We have 13 employees. We have a TV and radio marketing program that is fantastic. And then we also have our digital marketing package, which what we do is, again, regardless of the company size, we go in and talk to them about who they are, what they need for marketing, where their customers are, whether they're local or national, online or in store. And we develop plans, strategies, month by month marketing plans that the business owner can feel good about and put their personal spin on it. If it's we've got a local cheesecake shop in Plainfield, and it's so much fun just to bring in their local feel and what they're doing in the community. And it really helps with their social presence. So, things like that is really what we're doing now at a larger scale. But again, we still work with small companies as well as larger companies now.
Well, let me stop you right there because you glossed over something. When you said a radio and television, what do you mean by that?
So we specialize in TV and radio broadcast. So that means national and local TV and radio stations all across the country. We get better rates than anybody in our space. So that really sets us apart as a marketing agency because we are able to merge broadcast with digital, which a lot of people are not. And sometimes it's hard to do that. Sometimes TV only works for the big branding companies, and smaller companies don't think that they can ever get on TV and radio. And that's not true. In our case, we can get people on for TV way less than anyone else. And we definitely use that as an advantage.
Okay. Well, your website before we go any further?
Yes. So our website is Silver, like the color, Frog, like the animal, and marketing.
Okay. Can you spell it out for our
Sure.
.com?
Yes, so it's www.silver, SILVER, frog, FROG, marketing, MARKETING .com.
So now we've got some of the basics down, but let's back up because you're throwing a lot at us, and you're here to talk about how to do it better. But
Right.
uh, when you say let's say I come to you, I'm a small business, and
Mhm.
I sell widgets across the country.
Sure.
They haven't manufactured widgets in 150 years, but we still use it.
Yep.
And we come to you and we say, Christina, we have a budget, and we think we want to do some television, radio advertising, and we think
Definitely.
we should be in the 10 major markets.
Right.
So what are some of the questions you ask us, and then what are some of the questions we should be asking you?
Definitely. Now I'm not the head of sales. So again, my husband is the director of sales. He's the one who sells. Now, however, I've heard him do it 1,000 times. So typically we start with who your market is. Who's your customer? What's your price point? What are you spending on marketing? What are you spending for a call right now? And what's it worth to you? And then we figure out how to make you better. Now, a lot of people, honestly, when they say they want the top 10 markets, they probably don't actually need the top 10 markets because there's so many different DMAs and smaller markets within the larger markets. We're able to go in at local station levels and get really great rates instead of just saying paying rate card on the top 10. And that's what makes it great. So that's the great conversations we have with clients who maybe are placing TV and radio and they don't really know that there's any other way. Their clientele, their customer base is looking in many different ways. They're listening in different ways. They watch TV in different ways. Especially now, there's a lot of streaming that a lot of people are asking to be built in, but it doesn't work for all markets. So once we have that initial conversation, make sure it makes sense for the customer. We don't take anybody's money if we don't really feel that we can turn it around and make money for the customer. At that point, we put together a proposal. We go to all of our negotiated rates that we currently have. We go to stations that we may not have, and we negotiate rates specifically for the client. And then we propose a fantastic proposal. We knock their socks off, and then we start building their campaign out.
Do you help them create their television
Absolutely.
and
Yep.
radio?
Definitely. So, especially for DR, which is direct response, which is really our main TV and radio push is direct response. Yeah, no, we're fantastic. We can turn those commercials around in a week or two. We script them here in house with the client, and then we've got depending on what kind of animation, if it's B-roll, we can do all kinds of different things, and then we put it on. We can do 30-second spots, 60-second spots, or even 15s.
Well, what scares we have finally elicited from our own studies that what scares most small business is social media. How do you,
Right.
um,
Sure.
how do you go about saying to a small business, for instance, just wants to get its name known? How do you
Mhm.
go about um, building up a campaign?
Sure, definitely. So a lot of it is just figuring out what your message is and duplicating it multiple times. So for instance, if you're selling tax resolution services and you know that, you know, um, we can help IRS debt, right? So we take headlines and subheadlines and then we blend it throughout different email campaigns, social media posts, not necessarily with money behind it, just a post, and then blogs on their website. And then what we're able to do is we're able to submit those links through multiple different online directories, Google, Bing, and they're well keyworded so that even without money behind it in terms of paid ads, we're able to start getting some some response just based on keywords that people are actually looking for you. So on social media, also one thing that I love to do for Facebook or LinkedIn is find relevant groups that are about or relevant to your business, and then start posting your content on those pages and just being engaged. So I would tell a business owner, hey, almost every market has a small business group within their community. I always join those, and I always try to be very engaging, because a lot of times just the community members around you are asking questions that your business can provide answers to. So a lot of people can do that just for free, and they actually really enjoy it because it gives them a voice of their own company that maybe they just didn't know how to do before. Another way is email campaigns. I love building strong lists. So again, having a nice landing page where you drive the majority of your customers right off the bat. You can collect a lot of data and then start marketing to them. So maybe they land on your page once and they kind of like you, but then they bounce. We build campaigns out in the way that you're constantly touching your client, even when they no longer are interested in you. You're constantly touching them, and then they realize they are interested in you.
Well, let's say you have a customer list. Let's say it's like
Mhm.
700,000 names.
Sure, that's a
Uh,
big list.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And they come to you and say, "How do I monetize that list?" What do you tell the people?
Well, sure. So it depends on their product, right? What they're selling. There's a lot of different ways to monetize a list. First, you need to make sure you have a clean list, because anytime you work with old lists or paid lists, you can actually really hurt your domain. So you got to be careful. I would never send out too many emails in once. What I do is I set up multiple different campaigns based on where those customers came from, based on what product they were looking for. And then we work towards kind of like the upsell model, right? You kind of got to give away something free to get your value across to your customer and get them interested. And then you can then sell that client your services once you make them feel comfortable with your brand. So again, I would never send multiple emails where you're just selling one product, because your clients will shy away from that. Instead, you want to build trust with your brand. You want to send them information, something free to them, something to say, hey, I'm here for you. And then you do that repeatedly. And then that way, kind of when you send out a promotion, they feel like, oh, this guy's doing me a favor, instead of this guy's just trying to sell me something. So with those just underlying ideals, we're seeing that it's a lot easier to monetize lists because you're building comfort in your brand, and then it's a lot easier to get people to buy your products.
Well, let's talk about for instance, that 700,000. What would it
Mhm.
cost to establish that list from your side?
Right. So honestly, our core package is 2,500 a month, and that's regardless of the list size. I would schedule those out systematically. So maybe I would run 700 emails throughout the month in multiple different ways through drip campaigns. What we do is we use a marketing automation platform so that all of the social media, all of the blogs, all of the emails are all run through one system. So we have a really good idea of who's clicking on your links, who's opening your emails. And we can say, if this client opens this email, then in 3 days, they are given this email. And that's very important to kind of think out the life of your customer. What is your customer doing? And then looking at the data that we're pulling from it. And since it's all encompassing, we don't have to look at multiple different sources to find data of where your customers are. At some point, then we can start retargeting that client base. So, which is even better, because those are people that have already come to you, and you actually spend less on those paid ads. And it all works together. So yes, absolutely. For $2,500 a month, we would come up with, and that's with no ad spend. That is just our marketing services of building out social campaigns, email marketing campaigns, marketing automation, making sure it all works together, and pulling the plug. Now we also encourage, let me back up. We also do SEO and keywording through those campaigns because that is very important. Those are what your clients are searching for. And then also every month we talk to the client about ad spend. You know, do you want to put some TV money on? Do you want to put some pay-per-click money out there? And we definitely recommend that. You know, there's multiple different types of marketing. And your clients are living in multiple different spaces. But so that's basically what we do. Anybody could jump in. We actually do have a lower package that doesn't include a few different things. But if somebody wanted to get started, if they had, you know, even $1,500 a month, we could start a tremendous marketing campaign that touches their clients in multiple ways. They can see all the leads coming in, they can see all the calls coming in, and another thing that's very important to us is we're constantly working with the clients and their marketing. I never want to be a marketing company that drives everything without the client knowing what's going on, because I'm going to lose clients. So we're very much a team behind the scenes for our clients. They reach out to us for even just ideas. Hey, I had an idea for a promo. Great. We'll work on that for next month. It's very exciting. We're good at it. And we love what we do.
Okay, good point. Your website again for
Yes.
we're
So
talking
Silver,
we're talking to Christina Ross, and
yes,
your website.
is Silver, like the color, SILVER, frog, like the animal, FROG, and then marketing, marketing, MARKETING.com.
Well, what do you think about newsletters?
Yes, no, definitely. So newsletters, we refer to them as email campaigns, and are still very tremendous. Once you build trust with your client, and then they look forward to your newsletter. So I never do more than one a month, and I always keep them informative instead of salesy, and I try to keep it relevant with the times. So a newsletter goes out every month, and that is different from other email automations that we're sending out throughout the month that may touch more on one service or one product. Those are different email drips, but yes, no, newsletter marketing is still very important for any industry.
Okay. Then let me ask you a different question. Have you ever done a publishing newsletter where people are paying for their newsletter?
So we work with, so not really, not yet. A lot of our clients, it's more direct response. We've got a direct message that we're going out with, and we're, you know, requesting a response, whether that be a call or a click or a form fill. But again, we work with a lot of different clients. So yeah, we can do anything.
Okay.
Podcasts, yep. Or we can even put commercials on airplanes, in airports. You know, it really depends on the client.
And how much money the client has.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Let's go now. One of the reasons you're on this program, do you have some suggestions to our audience as to what they should be doing?
Well, definitely. So ultimately, always keep marketing in your plan somewhere. I like to say you should, you know, plan your marketing like you would your grocery list. It should always be a staple in your business, and you don't always have to put money behind it. But good marketing strategies have a tagline, have something that you say all the time that's relevant to your business, that you can say your name, and then basically your tagline should be kind of what you do, and utilize that throughout all of your social media. Your signature email line should always have your tagline and your email. Do social posting. Definitely. It's free. It's easy. Be on LinkedIn, be on Facebook, join networking groups, and be engaged. So I would say that's the number one thing for any new, growing, or established business, is to be out there. One thing that I'm seeing more and more, even as a consumer and as my clients, what the research I'm doing is almost everybody goes to Google to research before they make a purchase. So before even signing up with a cleaning company or a landscaping company or a marketing company, people are now taking to social media, taking to Google. So what you put out there is really what your clients are going to see first before they even talk to you. So I feel like your online presence needs to be as strong as you are, that your client needs to find you on Facebook or online and already know that they want to buy from you because you've already given them a warm and fuzzy feel. And again, you don't have to put any money behind that other than creation. A lot of times I see people create their own website with Wix, and that's great. We use WordPress for the businesses that we do, but there's nothing wrong with putting together a Squarespace site or a Wix site. Again, we can help even with that stuff. Just keep it present.
Let me interrupt. So what you're saying is, when you say, since people go to Google to research it, what
Yep.
should you be doing? So improving your website or improving, you kind of
Yep.
glossed over a little
Right.
bit. So,
Yes. Sorry. It really all does move together. So, whereas it's all important, I would say that the most important thing is the social presence. Have a good Facebook presence, have a good Facebook page, and be engaged would be, I would say, number one. The website, it's bigger because when you start talking about SEO and keywords, that's another article. That's another conversation. That gets a little bit bigger. And I've got a ton of tips on that, but I feel like we would go past our time.
no, but I'm still on, when you said the Facebook page,
Yes.
that is that often the one that people end up seeing most on?
Sometimes. So yes. So when you do a Google search, the business is going to come up multiple ways. Their LinkedIn page, their Facebook page, their Google business page, their website. So all of that works together. You just want to make sure that when your client finds you, they find you in a way that's done. You don't want to lead them to a page that's under construction. Don't even put it up yet. Things like that. Just really make sure that your Facebook page is updated. It has your website, your phone number, your address, and your relevant business information.
Okay, continue now.
Mhm. Right. So, yep.
Well, what else would you ask, tips
Right.
would you give our small business
Yes.
audience?
Yes. So definitely start with the social media. For any business, I would definitely get on LinkedIn as well. So LinkedIn and Facebook are still very relevant for business today. Also, make sure that you do have some sort of website presence. Again, even if it's just a Wix website, if you don't have a lot of money to put into it, just make sure it's something that is consistent. It has the same logo. You're using the same colors. You're using the same tagline. Because again, if you confuse your customer when they're looking for you, then they'll most likely find your competitor. So just keep those things in the forefront. And that's a great way to start building.
Well, if you look behind me, you'll see the sign for our book, Recalculating 99 Ways of Driving a Small Business.
Yes.
If we wanted to uh, uh, rejuvenate the marketing, what would you do for that book?
Yeah. So to like, just to give them an update. Oh yeah, no. Oh, definitely.
To updated sales. Well, we've seen in the recent months, a lot of people suddenly are buying the book, which
Mhm.
indicates it has legs. But now, what would you do to make it to sell it more?
To sell it more. So definitely landing pages with upsells, landing pages designed just to sell that book with videos. We love little videos now. Um, and then I would take all the traffic that went to that page and I would continue to drip marketing to them, whether by paid retarget marketing or email campaign drips if we got their contact information to again, just really push on the sale of that book. A lot of times I find that people don't think through the follow-up sales, so like if they put out an ad campaign and somebody clicks on their link and they're like, great, we got 100 clicks. And I'm like, great. Then what did you do with that? And they said, well, we got 2 form fills and, we didn't do anything. So, and I think that's very easy to do. But what I say is think it out a little bit further, take it a little further in terms of when your client clicks on your link, great. What happens from there? Do they get an email? Do they get a welcome letter? Do they get a thank you? Do they get anything? Because that's really what the people are looking for at this point to feel good with that purchase.
Christina, unfortunately, we've come almost to the end of our time. We have less than a minute for your website and for your final thought.
Perfect. My final thoughts is keep marketing in the forefront at all times. I am Christina Ross with Silver Frog Marketing, and we make marketing easy.
On that note, we say thank you.